Amen. Well, we thank you guys so much for being back for our weekend. We are so excited that you decided to come back. Last night we had an amazing time. I want to thank God for all of you who came out last night. We want to say a special thank you to Sister Latoya Marie, her real estate agency, for sponsoring our snacks last night. Woo! We praise God for you. And for our awesome Love family who came today to help with our food for our luncheon, and Deacon Tammy, we thank God for you guys helping to sponsor us today. We are so grateful. And we thank God for our special guest today, Mr. Tony Cozart. Woohoo! He is a native of Durham. He has a product line called the Cozart Experience. And if you've ever tried it, you will see that no matter what state your hair is in, he is going to transform your hair to something that is beautiful. Whether you use protective styles, natural styles with locks, if you perm your hair, you color your hair, if you cut your hair and you wear other styles, there's a line that he has that's just for you. It is safe enough for babies, infants, older people. And I thank God for him, not only because the genius that he has, the scientific genius, but the fact that he gives all glory to God. He not only helps women, but he has a heart for elderly. And at the senior center, they do a great number of things for the senior citizens. They do their hair for free. They take care of them. On Christmas, they give them gifts. They provide lunches for them. And they're even starting a project where they're going to be partnering with outreach ministries to build tiny homes in Africa, and prayerfully we'll be doing it here in Durham. So when you support Tony Cozart and the Cozart Experience, you're supporting a mission from God. You're looking good, you're blessing other people to have great hair, but you're also partnering with him to do ministry around the world. So thank you all for coming out tonight, and also for those who came last night, for the team. For our team that helped to put this together, those of you who are here, if y'all just stand for just a moment, that helped us to set up. And for those of you who ministered last night and helped in some kind of way, we thank God for y'all. Because no one person, it takes a team to put things like this together, to see the vision and for God to get the glory. So I appreciate you guys. And for those of you in the back and those on Facebook Live, we love you. We praise God for you. And it gives me great honor and a privilege to not only introduce to you someone that I admire as the golden hair care, but he's also my friend. He has been taking care of my hair since we were 15 years old. And I trust him with my head, bless the Lord, and my husband does. It's been a blessing. So if you are on live, make sure you go to the Cozart Experience. Go ahead and order your products. Once you hear which product line works best for you, don't wait. Invest in yourself, because I guarantee you the woman's crown is her hair and her glory. When your hair feels good, you feel good. Invest in you, because your glory is going to shine, and it's going to make God look good too. So this time, let's stand to our feet and just give a round of applause to my friend, the GOAT himself, the godfather of hair care, the only one, the Tony Cozart, the founder of the Cozart Experience. Amen.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Cozart. I am a licensed cosmetologist by trade. I'm going to give you a little brief history. You can sit down. Give you a little brief history on my journey in the hair care industry. I started at 14 years old as a shampoo boy in my aunt's salon in 1982. So I didn't start playing with baby dolls. I literally started in the professional salon. So I was groomed by licensed cosmetologists. I got my license at 19 years old, and since then I have been working in the hair care industry. What happened my first 20 years of the profession, like everyone else, I wanted to find products that would work best for my clients and be easy for me to use and utilize. I couldn't find it, but I still studied those products, their ingredients, and how to match up products. After the first 20 years, then I literally started manufacturing my own products, which has now been 15 years. So you have over 35 years of experience in a bottle. Now, the purpose of us being here now is what I call the consumer classroom. What is missing in the industry? The industry is not short of people selling products. The industry is not short of demonstrating hairstyles. The industry is not short of dramatizing the hair care industry, but what is the missing element is the education. The definition of cosmetology is the art and science of hair, skin, and nails. Again, what has happened in the industry is most people are concerned about the art, which is the designing of hair and color and styles. Well, I've always been concerned about the science of hair, not so much the art. And that's what we're gonna get into right now. One of the first things that I learned in this profession, that there's a scientific reason for everything that is happening to your hair and your scalp, and we're gonna go over those things one by one. Now, on your table, you should receive a QR code. And for those who are watching Facebook Live, thank you for joining us. We're gonna have what we call the benefits package, and I want you to follow me on this. So we're gonna talk about what is going on with your hair, your scalp. In my lessons, I talk about 5 things that are considered when doing hair. So when your mother does your hair, when you go to the salon, when you go to the beauty schools, when you do your hair yourself, there are 5 things which are considered when you do your hair. Those 5 things are your scalp, your hair, water, products, and the tools that you use. All 5 of those things are considered when you do your hair, and we need to have those things in consideration. You could use the best products, and if you don't use them properly, you won't get the best outcome. I'm gonna give you another example as a professional, what happened to me. When I first started doing hair, there was this company, I purchased their conditioner. It was a very expensive conditioner. I heard about this company. I was like, okay, I wanna try this conditioner. It sat on my shelf for a couple of months, and I just picked it up one day. Just like everyone else, you go, oh, I heard about this conditioner. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna use it. I picked up this conditioner, not this one, but a conditioner, and I started using it, and I was very unhappy with the results, extremely unhappy with the results. And I used it on 2 or 3 of my clients. I was like, what is this? This is terrible. At that time, we had representatives that would come to our salon, and they would talk to us about the products that we use. And when the representative came in, I was so glad when she came in. I was like, this product here is no good. And she took it. She said, okay, how did you use it? I said, I shampooed my client's hair and conditioned it, what I always do. And she says, if you read the back of this bottle, Mr. Cozart, it says you have to dilute this product before you use it. I didn't understand the product, and that's what's happening in the hair care industry. People are not understanding what they're using. Not only that, we're given products and not given the information on the proper way to use these products. Going modern day time, I heard so much about this iPhone, and I had to have an iPhone. I finally got enough money to get an iPhone that I heard so much about. And when on social media, you hear so much about products. Again, you hear about products and you receive them. This doesn't happen to me, but it has happened, and people say, I didn't get any results. All right, and I'm gonna bring it again to modern day times. I heard so much about this iPhone through advertising that I finally purchased one. And my first couple of weeks, I'm like, this phone is no good. Some days it rings and some days it doesn't. I paid almost $1,000 for this phone, why? So I went to the iPhone store. I said, look, this phone does not work. Sometimes it rings, sometimes it doesn't. The man takes the phone and says, Mr. Cozart, if you look on the side here, there is a button. You all know where I'm going with this. I didn't read. All right. Not only that, I did not understand, and that's why I'm here before you now, to help you understand what is happening with your hair and with your scalp. And the first thing I want to let you know that it is not your fault, because you're a consumer. When we're consumers, we trust what people tell us that we're going to receive. And sometimes they're not giving you the truth, sometimes they're giving you half the truth, and sometimes you're being misinformed or ill-informed. I'm here to inform you based on my 37 years in the industry as a licensed professional. Again, we have this Cozart Experience Benefits Package that we're gonna go over. I said, I gotta hold this mic. Do we have a mic stand? And again, thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. And this weekend, I will answer your questions. Okay, so I slide this off. There we go. Hello, hello. Okay, here we go. We have what we call the benefits package. All right. So if you have it on your phones, you can follow me. Again, the definition of cosmetology is the art and science of hair, skin, and nails. What we're doing is what we learned in beauty school. You first start with theory. You want to understand your products and how to use them before you use them. You don't want to use them first and find out there's something wrong or never getting the information. You've wasted your money, you wasted your time, and sometimes you have caused irreparable damage to your hair, and we don't want that to happen. That's why I developed this program for my consumers to understand what's happening so that when they use our products, they can use them to the fullest benefits, all right? First thing, the Peppermint Potion Treatment System is a uniquely designed system for all hair types. The Peppermint Potion Treatment System is super concentrated and designed with 0 time under the dryer. You don't have to go up under the dryer, and that was one of the things that I hated. Anybody else hate a hot dryer? And we'll talk about that too. You don't have to go under the dryer with this product, all right? The Peppermint Potion Treatment System does 3 things simultaneously. It cleanses, it balances, and it hydrates both the hair and scalp. Remember, there are 5 things that you need to consider when doing your hair. The first 2 things is your hair and your scalp. All right, the key ingredients to the Peppermint Potion Treatment System and the Natural Hair Care System is peppermint oil, essential oils, and humectants. And we're gonna get into that also with this benefits package, Okay, let's get started. Let's address the 6 major issues and concerns that women now face with their hair and their scalp. There are 6 major issues that I found that women face with their hair and their scalp, and you let me know if you agree with me or not. One is breakage, itchy scalp, dandruff, dry scalp. Now, there is a difference between itchy scalp, dandruff, and dry scalp. All right, there are distinct differences. We'll go into that. Lack of growth and thinning of hair. And I'm pretty sure all of us at some point have come across one of these issues, a couple of these issues, or maybe all of these issues in our lifespan of our hair, which is breakage, itchy scalp, dandruff, dry scalp, lack of growth, and thinning of hair. All right, we're gonna move on to our next page. We're gonna go through this quickly because we got a lot of information we wanna go through. The cause and effect. What reason? Why is this happening? It could be through medicinal residue, which is medication and anesthesia. Anytime that you're taking medication or you have surgeries, you have anesthesia, those are foreign objects, foreign properties that have been put into your body. So they have to come out some kind of way, all right? Then we have environmental pollution, such as free radicals and car emissions, the environment, pollen, dirt, dust, hormonal imbalances, perimenopausal or menopausal instances. And it took me 20 years to realize it is not premenopausal, it's perimenopausal, okay? And that can start as early as 30 years old, all right? Now, for those, if you want to know if you're perimenopausal, it usually starts from here up, and you start feeling like really, really warm and hot, and then this explosion. So that, it usually starts, if you pay attention to your body, about 30 years old, all right? Then we have sweat, which contains 70% salt. So if you sweat at night, or if you work out, Your sweat contains 70% salt. And with salt, it has salt crystals. So when you sweat, yeah, the hair feels really, really soft when it's wet, but when it dries, you're left with those salt crystals. That's the reason why the hair feels really, really rough and dry, because of those salt crystals that are left on your hair. Not to mention, if you are perimenopausal or menopausal, now you have hormones and sweat mixed in. Then if you're on medications, then you have medications, hormones, and salt mixed in, being released through your follicles, all right? Then we have heredity, which is the thinning and the loss of hair, all right? Sometimes it's hereditary. Sometimes you inherit these issues. Okay, now let's go to the prognosis. Most issues of the hair and scalp are due to these three issues. Now we have the issues. They could be biological, which are your genetics. It could be physiological, which are your body parts and its functions, all right? It could be environmental culprits, such as your physical surroundings. These could be three of the reasons why you have these issues as well. Are you following me? I'm pretty sure everyone can fall in one of these categories, or maybe all of them, but then there is an answer, all right? So I just want to help you understand what's happening. Now we have our remedies, okay? And with our remedies, we have the 4 powerful ingredients in our system, which are our key ingredients. They are rosemary, tea tree oil, peppermint oil, and aloe vera. I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of the benefits of our key ingredients. Whenever let's say you're going to bake a cake. A cake is a cake without a flavor or without some type of texture. So what you make it a lemon cake, or you would make it a German chocolate cake. All of those are those key ingredients that make it what it is or what it does as far as flavor and texture. Same thing with hair care products. Hair care products are just hair care products if they don't have any key ingredients that actually perform a duty. So we're going to talk about the duties that this product performs for you. So it's not just shampooing the hair. I learned that it is not what a shampoo and conditioner is that makes it great, it's what it does. That's anything. Even when it comes to friendships and relationships, you're a person, but what is your purpose in my life? What is your function in my life? If not, you're just a body. Same thing with hair. Hair care products are just hair care products without performing a duty or a function, and that's what we're here to talk about also. We have 4 key ingredients. One is rosemary. I'm going to give you a couple of benefits of rosemary oil. It stimulates hair growth. It prevents baldness. It slows down the graying of the hair. It treats dandruff on the scalp, and it thickens the hair. Oh, and another wonderful thing about rosemary oil is that it increases the growth rate by up to 22%. All right? And there's some people in the house that can testify to that. Now, I want to let you all know this also in the audience, that you don't want to take this information and try to do it yourself. And that's another thing that's happening. People are misdiagnosing their hair or becoming their own doctor or chemist. I'm going to tell you about the dangers of doing that before we go even any further. How many people have had a itchy throat or sneezing or coughing? You say, okay, I know what this is. I got a cold. So I'm going to go to CVS. I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to go to my local pharmacy, and I'm just going to get some cold medicine. And this is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and take care of it. Week 1, same issue. Week 2, the same issue. Actually, it gets worse and worse. You say, okay, let me go to my doctor. Let me go to the person who is qualified to figure out what is going on with me. You go to your doctor, and your doctor says, no, you don't have a cold. You have a sinus infection. All right? People are misdiagnosing themselves. Not only that, people are becoming their own chemist, and they're mixing all these ingredients, and they're not suitable for what your needs are. One of the main things that women are doing now is that using a lot of moisturizer. So I'm going to jump around here because I want to keep you interested. And moisturizer is another name. First of all, how many people use products that say moisturizing shampoos or moisturizing conditioners? That's virtually everyone because it's a popular thing. Well, let me tell you what a moisturizer is. Moisturizer is another name for oils, okay? It's another name for oil. Hair has three basic needs. It has to be cleansed, balanced, and hydrated. Oil is secondary. Oil sits on the outside of the hair. I'm going to give you an example. Again, we're going to jump around here. Okay. Remember I told you that the product, this system cleanses, balances, and hydrates the hair and the scalp, right? Most people are using moisturizers, which are oils, and they always say my hair still is dry. I don't know what's going on. I moisturize it constantly. Why is my hair still dry? I'm going to let you know clearly why your hair is still dry and why you need to reverse what you're doing. And I'm going to use women's favorite love language. I'm going to use food. All right. And here is our example here. We have a plump, juicy grape. Okay? A grape is plump, it's juicy, it's shiny, it's bouncy, right? It's hydrated. All right? Then we have a dry, shriveled up raisin. All right, which is dry, it's crumbly, you can just rip it up. Did you know that a grape and a raisin is the same thing? The only difference is a raisin is a what? Dehydrated grape. All right? So now we know what hydration does. It makes the hair full and shiny and bouncy. All right? Now we're going to talk about moisture. Moisture is designed to seal in hydration. So when you take moisture, which is oil, and you put it on top of hydrated hair or a hydrated grape, it seals in that hydration. So it's going to stay bouncy and shiny and full. If you put moisture on top of a raisin, which is dry and crumbly, now what do you have? A greasy, dry raisin. That is what's happening to women's hair. They're moisturizing, which is another name for oil, on top of already dry hair. And it's just going to be greasy and dry. Because what does oil do? It seals in. So now you can either seal in hydration or you can seal in dryness. Okay? Now, another thing that's happening is women are saying, okay, I get this happen all the time. I know what his key ingredients is. I'm going to go to the beauty supply store. I'm going to get some peppermint oil. I'm going to get some tea tree oil. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to mix these things together. I'm going to mix it and make my own cocktail. That's what they call it, and you're still getting minimal results, and sometimes you're getting worse results. There is a thing in college called organic chemistry, and there's a reason why it's called organic chemistry, because something happens when you mix two things together. All right? So when you use some of these oils, you could be using one oil with another oil, and it could cancel each other out. No different than if you know anyone who's on any type of medication, whether it be high blood pressure medication, diabetes medications for cancer. One of the first things your doctor tells you is do not drink grapefruit juice with this, because something as simple as grapefruit juice can cancel out a synthetic drug. That just lets you know how powerful natural ingredients are. Then we got to look at natural ingredients. Where do they come from? They come from one or two places. They come from either plant extracts or flower extracts, which come from where? The ground, which is what? Highly acidic. So if you do not know how to gauge how to pair certain natural ingredients and their ratio and their grade, you're actually going to dry the hair out more. That's why a lot of times when people first start on their hair care journey, okay, I'm going to read this information, I'm going to take this information, I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to formulate my own product. You had one issue when you first started, now you have 5. And you're thinking, there's something wrong with me. But it's actually the products that you're using. That's just one portion of that, all right? So let's go back to the benefits. So I don't want you to think you can just steal this information and use it, because you're going to end up with a problem. All right? All right. The second remedy is tea tree oil. What are the benefits of tea tree oil? It regrows hair, it unclogs follicles, it is a natural antiseptic, it removes dead cells, it removes buildup from the hair, it increases the oxygen levels, it supplies nutrients for the follicles, and it treats and protects the hair and scalp from, it treats and protects the scalp from infection. Because a lot of people scratch their head, a lot of people have eczema or dandruff or psoriasis, and they end up with these scabs. That's one of the benefits of the tea tree oil. Then we have the peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is considered to be the superhero of all of the oils. I'm gonna give you a rundown why it's considered to be a superhero of all of the oils. What does it do? It has vitamin A, which protects cell growth. Vitamin C, which builds your collagen levels. Potassium, which prevents hair from falling out and allowing the scalp to absorb nutrients. So slow down, Tony. Peppermint oil gives your hair the ability to absorb nutrients. But you have to be careful about peppermint oil and all these other oils, because if you use too much, it'll dry the hair out. Give you another example. With using your love language, if you're gonna make a lemon cake, most people have made cakes before. I didn't know this until I tried it for the first time. When you use the lemon extract, because that's what you use, right? You only use a very, very little bit to give it that flavor. You can't just pour that lemon extract in that cake. It's gonna taste horrible, and it's gonna actually almost burn your mouth, because it's so strong. Same thing about these natural ingredients. You can use a little bit too much and you'll end up drying that hair out. All right? So just to give you an example of how powerful these ingredients are in relation to even using them in your foods. All right? It has potassium, which prevents hair from falling out and allowing the scalp to absorb nutrients. It has copper, which heals the scalp. Magnesium, which increases the blood flow. It has calcium, which stimulates growth. It has iron that prevents hair loss. This is peppermint oil now. Menthol, which cools the scalp. It treats a dry scalp. It moisturizes, and is also pH balanced. So that's just a few things that peppermint oil does, another one of our key ingredients. Then we have remedy 4, which is aloe vera. What are the benefits of aloe vera? It repairs dead cells, it promotes growth, it prevents itchiness of the scalp, it reduces dandruff. It can be used in the winter months as well as the summer months. Some of us have found out that there's some products that we can use during the winter that we cannot use during the summer, and we'll talk about that. A lot of that is because of the weight of the molecule base. So with this, our key ingredients, you can use our products in the summer and the winter time, all right? It gives hair elasticity, and it makes hair bouncy. This is what aloe vera does. These are our key ingredients in our systems, both our peppermint potion treatment system and our natural hair care system. And I think we're gonna stop at that, and we're gonna move to a question or two. Does anybody have a question? Yes. If you, okay, she asked me, she referred to the peppermint oil increasing the blood flow. And your question is, what if what? Okay, the benefit of having, thank you. The benefit of having good blood flow to the scalp is it promotes growth. Think about people who are diabetic and with a neuropathy, neuropathy, all right? A lot of that has to do with poor blood circulation. And what happens if you don't get that blood circulation? Because the body is a living organism, then it rots and it dies. So if you don't get good blood flow to your scalp, nourish your hair, which is actually made up of your body and the blood, then you're not gonna have that constant growth that you're looking for. So it's important to have that constant blood flow in order for that hair to help regenerate itself and become healthier. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
It did? Okay. Now, how does this work? This system works with the shampoo has the tea tree oil and the rosemary oil, and then the conditioner has the peppermint oil. And you can't cheat with this system and put the cart before the horse. Because some people are like, well, let me just get peppermint oil. Let me just get a conditioner with peppermint oil. Well, you have to prep the hair and the scalp first. No different than if someone tells you about their favorite wax they use to make their floor really shiny, and you go and purchase it. If your floor is already full of buildup, what is that wax going to do? It's not going to shine. You have to remove the old buildup, but then you have to make sure that you don't tarnish the wood in the process. And that's another thing that's happening with women when they're doing their hair. They're using products without properly prepping the hair of the scalp for whatever the benefits are. So with us, we have the tea tree oil and we have the rosemary oil, which is going to expand the follicles, pull out all the impurities, and balance the hair and scalp. Then we'll use the peppermint oil, which is going to stimulate the blood flow. If you use this peppermint oil and you have not expanded those follicles and pulled out all that medication, the salt, the hormonal imbalancing, you have not pulled all of that out and balanced the hair and scalp, you're going to get minimum benefits from using the peppermint oil. This is a system, and that's what's happening. People don't want to follow the system of things, and there's a reason why it's set in place that way. And that's, again, the reason why we're talking, so you can understand the importance of every part. So before you put this peppermint oil on, before you put this shine product, people say, well, my hair is not shining. Did you remove the buildup first? Okay. Then you have what they call clarifying shampoos. I don't know if you heard about these clarifying shampoos or cleansing shampoos. You have to be careful about those because a lot of those strip the hair because it doesn't have a mind to know what to leave and what to remove. So now you're using a clarifying shampoo and now your hair and your scalp is totally dry. No different than dandruff shampoos. If you use a dandruff shampoo, it is designed to remove the dandruff, but it's also removing some of the other natural oils, and now you ended up with no dandruff, but dry scalp and a dry head of hair. So that's where that science comes in at, okay? Now, let's talk about how to determine whether a product is a good product for your hair or your scalp. Let's go with our hydrating shampoo. This is the Hydro Silk shampoo. All right. Whenever you use a product, this is a great way to test your products out. Every product you use will leave its identity on the hair or scalp. Just remember that. Anything that you put on, that's why when people get lotions or oil, what do? You put it on, you want to see how it feels. Same thing with your hair. If you use a shampoo, if you use a conditioner, you put in your hands, you rub in your hands, and you feel stickiness, you feel gumminess, or if it itches or irritates your hand, that's what's going to happen to your scalp. The wonderful thing about our systems is that our products penetrate. We talk about oils. You do need oils, but you have two different types of oils. You have penetrating oils, and then you have sealant oils. And all of this is important when it comes to your purchasing. How many women now have so many products under their cabinets in their drawers that did not work? So I want to help you keep from losing your money because you did not understand this. You do need oils, but you want penetrating oils, which actually penetrates the hair and that dermis level of the scalp so it can give you those the nourishment that it needs. If you use sealing oils, what does it do? It seals, so it's going to sit on top. And your sealing oils tend to be less expensive as well. So when you use a lot of products, most products that you purchase are commercial products. They have two key ingredients in them that make you feel as though that they're working when they're actually counterproductive. They have wax and petroleum in it. So when you put it on the hair, it feels really, really nice and slick and smooth. But after you shampoo it and you blow dry it and you curl it, your hair feels sticky or gummy or waxy, or it has a white look to it because of the wax and the petroleum that is actually laying on top of your hair. but our products actually go into that shaft of that hair and give it the things that it needs, which is keratin, amino acids, humectants, anti-humectants, and then we're going to seal it with our penetrating oils. There are some people who do need sealing oils, but you only need a very little bit. Remember, we talked about that grape. It's plump and juicy. All you want to do is on the outside, you just want to seal it in instead of packing it with a lot of oil. So what we want to do, we're going to do a demonstration, I think. Let's do a demonstration. What type of demonstration should we do? Okay, get someone to come up here. Somebody want to come up here? We're going to figure out what we're going to do if we get somebody to come on up. Yes. Okay, here we go. Come on up and sit right here in Tony's chair. All right. You want to tell us your name?
Yes, Denitra,
All right.
a.k.a. Lady D.
Okay, lady, tell me, what issues are you facing with your hair or with your scalp right now?
It dries out quick. And
Just-
I always have to hydrate it daily.
Okay, she says her hair dries out quick and she has to hydrate it daily. All right. What are you using to hydrate?
I have water with tea tree oil that I spray.
She has water with tea tree oil. Okay, now we're going to address that. Remember, there are 5 things that you consider when you do your hair. We talked about water, didn't we? Water is one of those things. And you said tea tree oil, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about products. So those are 2 things right there. And these 2 things she's already doing improperly. Okay? Now, water. If you live in the city, your water is treated with chemicals and chlorine. So if you take a water bottle and you go into your sink and you put water in it, what are you spraying on your hair? Chlorine and chemicals. Now, water is nature's natural hydrator, yes, but what's in your water? Then we can go back to, and I'm just going to jump back on this, the thing about the relaxers. People talk about relaxers causing cancer. That is not necessarily the case. What's happening is the relaxer is not related to cancer-producing properties. It's some of the ingredients that some of these relaxers have in it that are leading to cancer-related issues. So water is not the problem, it's what's in your water. So if you're going to wet your hair with water, I'm gonna give you a tip, use distilled water, okay? You do not want to use alkaline water. I made that mistake. Some people, we talk about how the benefits of alkaline water. Alkaline water is great for the inside of your body, but the outside is closer to the acid side. So you do not want to put alkaline water on your hair. It will ruin your hair. Trust me, I've done that before. All right, so you don't want to do that. So if you're going to use water, you want to use distilled water. All right? Then she's using tea tree oil. She's one of those people. She's heard about tea tree oil is great, but then do you know about the ratio that you need to use? No, right. Do you know about the grade of the product? You know, you have different grades of products when you use them. You have high grades, you have low grades, so you need to understand that. Another thing that people don't understand, when you have natural products or natural ingredients, they don't have to go through FDA approval, so you don't really know what you're getting. They could say that we're giving you tea tree oil, and there might be only 4% of it is actually tea tree oil, and the rest of it could be some type of synthetic. All right, no different than when you go to the grocery store and you purchase juice and it says orange juice. But if you read it, it says 10% of it is orange juice, but the other 90% is something else. So that's why she's constantly doing these things and not getting the results that she wants. All right, that's one tip. Now, tea tree oil is great, but then you want to make sure if you have your water, which has chemicals and chlorine in it, cancel it out. So you're not even getting the benefits.
Okay.
All right?
Distilled water. Got
You want to do distilled water. I don't recommend that you do that yourself because you're not a licensed professional,
Oh, okay.
you know, but you've gotten some information. And let me put it like this. If you use a product 1, 2, 3 times and you're not getting any benefits, guess what? It's not working. It's not working. No different than if you go to your doctor and they give you some medication. After about, week 3, they tell you if it's not working by week 3, it's not gonna work. Then we have to figure out something else. So if you have products and you are now ending up with multiple issues, you start out with 1 issue, now you have 3, more than likely it's the products that you're using. All right? Now, let's go with else. What else are you doing with your hair? That's what you're doing daily.
Yeah, for the most part, I usually spritz it with the water with the tea tree oil. Every 2 or 3 days, I use a Camille Rose Hydrate leave-in. It's
Okay.
a honey leave-in.
Okay, you're using other products. So have you studied whether the other products you're using are compatible with what you're using outside of that? So you're not using a system, you're using different products, right?
For the most part, yes.
But you don't understand if they are compatible.
That is true. Yes.
Compatibility is very important. No different than you have Android and you have an iPhone. This side you have Android, this side you have iPhone. They're both great operational systems, but guess what? They're not compatible. And that's what happens a lot of times when people say, oh, I've heard about tea tree oil, which is great, and I heard about chamomile. That's great, but are they compatible? That happens also. Remember, the definition of cosmetology is the art and science of hair, skin, and nails. Okay, those are finishing products. We haven't even gotten into water temperature. Let's get into water temperature. This is very important. Water temperature. I'm gonna ask you this and tell the truth. All right. So, what temperature water do you use when you shampoo your hair?
It'd be
What
hot. It'd be hot.
Did y'all hear? She uses hot water. Okay. How many people use warm water when they're shampooing? All right. Shampooing.
Now,
Oh,
I use cold when after condition.
okay. All right. And that's what we're taught. Even when I was in school, we were told to use cool water when you rinse your conditioners. Now, they never told me why. So I never did it because it's uncomfortable for my client, for my customer. So I never did it because that was never explained to me. I was told to do it, but not the benefits. But we're gonna go all the way back to the shampooing and how important water temperature is. All right? All right. You have raw vegetables, okay? When you eat your raw vegetables, you have all the vitamins and all the nutrients attached, right? When you eat them, you get all the benefits. What happens when you take that same raw vegetable and you put it in warm water? The vitamins and nutrients detach, so you're losing the benefits. It's best in its raw state. That's one of the things that happens when you're using warm water. We're not even talking about hot water, even with your shampoo. So if you have a shampoo that has vitamins and nutrients attached to it, and then you're shampooing your hair, you got all these vitamins and nutrients, and then you take warm or hot water to rinse it off, what are you rinsing off? All the vitamins and all the nutrients, so you're getting minimal benefits from that. That's just from shampooing it. All right? So even with your shampoo, you have to use what we call tippet water, closer to cool, but you don't want to feel any warmth. That is if you want the benefits. No different than if you have this chronic pain, I hate shots, but you get enough pain, okay, I'm gonna take the shot, but I know I'm gonna feel better. It's gonna be a temporary discomfort, but with permanent results. All right? That's another thing, you wanna use cool water when you do this, because we're taught warm water is gonna cleanse it. It's gonna make it really, really clean. But another word when you're doing hair is not cleaning, it's sterilizing your products. That's what's happening. Now that's just what's happening to your products. Now let's talk about what the warm water or hot water is doing to your scalp. So there's 3 issues that you have caused with just by using warm water temperature. This is going to help you. It's going to bless you. What happens when you use heat on anything? Doesn't it cause it to swell up? All right. So when you use warm water on your scalp, what's going to cause is inflammation on the scalp, because that heat is going to cause your follicles to actually close up and swell up. And it's going to slow down your blood circulation, which is going to slow down your growth rate because it's causing inflammation. That's why initially that warmth feels good, because we want to feel warm. But what happens when your hair is dry? Now it feels tight or itchy or flaky. What do? You go and put oil on it. When really you cause the problem by using the warm water, because you cause inflammation. And that inflammation, again, it causes the follicles to constrict, and then it also causes your capillaries to constrict and slow down and hinder blood flow, which slows down growth rate. Then you end up with dry scalp. Then you're putting oils on it, which more than likely are sealants. Now you clog the pores up, and now they can't even breathe. You're suffocating the follicles. Right? You're starting to itch already, aren't you? You should apologize to your hair and scalp. All right. Now we're going to have fun, because now you get informed. You've been doing this improperly. What I like to tell people is what you've been doing has been counterproductive. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been licensed now for 37 years. COVID was wonderful for me because it's the first time in my life I could actually stop and think and not have anything else to do. And I used that time to study. I always use warm water because I thought the same thing, so don't feel bad. I did this for 30 years, and I was wondering why I still had problems. Why is it when I was shampooing my client's hair, I'm going to get it clean, I'm using warm water, but why the more I shampoo it, the more the hair was shedding? I didn't understand it. Why was the hair tangling up? Why is it when I finished doing the hair, you put something on my scalp, I gave you a good stimulation? I don't understand this until I started doing a little bit of my own research. And this is what's happening to the scalp by using the warm water. Now we're going to talk about what it happens to your hair. Okay? We got water and what it did to your products, and we talk about what the water did to your scalp. Now we're going to talk about what the warm water did to your hair. What the warm water did to your hair, remember, warm water is going to cause things to swell up. It's also going to cause your hair to swell up, and it's going to cause it to mat, and it's going to dry that hair out. The hair has what they call cuticle layers in it, like it's almost like shingles on a roof. And if you use warm water, because the hair is not all the same texture, some of those shingles are going to raise higher than others, then the hair is going to start tangling and ripping. Not only that, when you start drying your hair, it's not going to dry smoothly because you got water trapped underneath there, especially if you blow dry your hair. You're going to be boiling that hair and burning that hair with that water trapped up underneath there. And then you're not going to get, the hair's not going to dry at the same rate because you got all these different shingles that were affected. And then you got tangles and the hair ripping out. When you use that warm water, you're causing that hair to ripple up. And you're causing water to get trapped in there. All right. And then what you do after that, you put oil on it, and then you got oil trapped up underneath there, and then that causes buildup. So that's another thing that's happening when you use that warm water. Now we're going to go to what are the benefits of using the cool water. The benefits of using cool water when it comes to your products. When you use cool water using your products, all of the vitamins and the nutrients stick or adhere to that hair. Okay? No different than if something is cold and frosty, when you put your finger on, your fingers feel like they're getting stuck to it, so they adhere. Now, if you're using products which are moisturizing products, it's not going to work with any other product. If they're moisturizing products, then you got the oil stuck to your hair. You don't want to do that. These are vitamins and nutrients attached to our products, not wax and petroleum, which is a cheating when it comes to making the hair feel like it's smooth and it's silky and it's shining when you're actually just covering it up. That's why even if you have color-treated hair, your hair looks duller and duller because of all this buildup that is on it. So when you use the cool water, it causes the vitamins and nutrients to attach to the hair and to the scalp. And because we read the benefits of our key ingredients, now it has something to feed on. All right? So that's what it does to the products. What it does to the scalp, when you use the cool water, just like we're here in the winter months, what happens when it's cold outside and you walk outside? Your body's gonna be like, oh snap, it's cold out here. So what I need to do is I need to warm myself up. So how does it warm itself up? It increases your blood circulation. So when you use the cooler water, you're sending a signal to your body for its natural defense mechanism to defend itself and start warming itself up by increasing your blood rate. So temporarily it's going to be uncomfortable, but the benefits are going to be long-lasting because now the blood is just pumping on its own, which promotes growth, along with the benefits of the properties that are in the shampoo and the conditioner. Not only that, it shocks the follicles to stay open so it can breathe, all right? Everything living needs hydration and it needs oxygen. If not, it's going to die. It don't need oil. All right? Now, what happens to the hair when you use cooler water? What happens to the hair when you use cooler water? It keeps the hair smooth and flat because it makes it smoother. Remember, warm water causes the hair to ripple up. All right? And then it ends up tangling. But the cooler water keeps that hair smooth. When you look at something that's smooth, doesn't it, the smoother it looks, the shinier it looks? That's what's going to happen to the hair when you use that cooler water. It's going to keep it smooth, and then the nutrients that are attached to our products are going to adhere. So when you blow dry it, it's going to take less time to dry, and then when you add your finishing products, you're going to need less because you have a smooth surface to deal with. All right? That's just the water temperature. Now, when you go to bed at night, what do you do to your hair when you go to bed at night? Or when you're relaxing at home, do you just lay back on the couch or in the bed?
Sometimes I fall asleep and I don't have my bonnet on.
Sometimes.
Yep.
All right.
But on the norm, I should put my bonnet on.
Okay. So most of the time, we're being honest, we don't protect our hair or our scalp with our bonnets. All right. And then we're laying on the bed or laying on our couch. A couple of things are happening. But I want to address this. Okay. You got up in the morning, you took okay, let's do it like this. Use an analogy. This your bonnet you had on. Let's say you did have your bonnet on all night long. All right, you had your bonnet on. All right. You did the right thing. I did the right thing. I had my bonnet on all night long. Took it off. What you going to do with it when you take it off? Where you going to put it?
I usually put it back on my bed or in the bathroom.
Okay, she's going to put it on the bed. This the bed. Because you're going to put this back on, right?
Yep.
We're going to put this back on. I'm doing the right thing. This is for people that did the right thing, all right? She lay on the bed. She got herself together. She sprayed her tea tree oil in her water, which is full of chemicals. She did that. She went outside, cranked up the car, all the car emissions and the pollution in the air and her work environment, and especially if you're in an environment that uses gas heat. Gas heat dries out the hair. If anybody has gas heat, your hair is going to be drier with gas heat, all right? Maybe she did the right thing. Okay, I'm going to go and work out, or I'm going to go and take a walk. Now she sweated. She got hormones, medication, salt, all of that mixed in. Hair is a fiber. So it's going to collect everything that is in the environment. It's a fiber. Now, not only that, let's say you put oil on it. If you take a bath and you put on oil on your body, at the end of the day, what can you scrape off? Dirt, because oil attracts dirt, pollution, bacteria, and fungus, okay? So you take a bath every day. Hopefully you do. So you remove it, right? Hopefully you do. If you don't, we're not going to talk about it. All right. But your hair, you're not going to shampoo it every day, okay? But you put oil on it on Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday, but you didn't shampoo it. So guess what it's doing? It's collecting dirt, pollution, bacteria, fungus. All right? Because hair is a fiber, and then you got this oil on, so everything is going to attach. Cigarette smoke, wherever you don't have to smoke, you can pass by it. You can smell it. If you have a sensitive nose, you can smell it in the hair. All right. She gets home. You get home. You don't put your bonnet on. You're like, I'm just going to chill. I'm just relax and just lay on the couch. All right. So lay on the couch with no protection. All right. Now that hair is with all that pollution on it, and you're laying in that same spot, because more than likely we lay in our same spot. Just like Coming to America, you see that Jericho juice where you lay. I know your spot because that's your print right there. All right. So now the spot that you lay in, you don't clean that, steam clean that every week or every month. Most of that spot, we hardly ever do that, if once a year. Okay? Let's say you did put your bonnet on. So you run to your bed and you put your bonnet back on. Okay? Then you lay on your couch or you lay in your bed. You did the right thing, didn't you? Did she do the right thing? Why didn't she do the right thing? Okay, but most people don't shampoo the hair, but this is a trick. Let's say you don't. Who shampoos their hair every day? We don't do that. But this is the biggest problem. Okay, we're going to go in reverse. Her hair has collected all this pollution. This is just one day. All right? Then she puts her bonnet on. Everything transferred to the bonnet, didn't it? All right? She went back out and came back in, got the same bonnet, put it back on. That's after collecting day 2 or day 3. How many times do you shampoo your bonnet? Most people do once a week, once a month. Tell the truth.
I wash my hair.
Every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this. How many people, you ain't got to say nothing. How many people put on the same underwear they had on the night before? Todd said she do. It's almost the same concept because your body has released hormones and salt and toxins and then environment, and you put on your bonnet, and we have what we call the hair underwear. You don't put the same bonnet on you had on the night before because it's contaminated. All right? You put a fresh one on every night, and then you cleanse it. Now, another thing, when you cleanse your bonnets or your scarves, you don't want to use detergents, and you don't want to cleanse them with your clothing. Why? Because detergents get lodged in the fibers. It's going to dry the hair out. Not only that, with all the other things that you have with your clothing, there's a get lodged in the fibers, and then it's going to transfer. That's why a lot of times people end up with flakiness around their edges or broken edges or hair still smelling because of that. So you want to change your bonnet every night. And the wonderful thing is with our products, because they are not sealants, they're not sitting on top of the hair, drawing in pollution, our products penetrate. Anything that the hair collects is going to literally just rest on the top of it. When you put your bonnet on, it's going to transfer and the hair is going to stay cleaner longer. If you use heavy oils, it's going to stick to the hair. We're going to use this analogy. It rained outside, and in your driveway, you got a puddle of oil that came from your car, and then you got another puddle of water where it rained. If there's pollution in the air, leaves, dirt, and it falls on both of those puddles, what happens when that dirt and that pollution falls on a puddle of oil? It's going to stick to it. It's going to mix in with it. What happens if that same pollution lands in that other puddle of water? It's going to sit on top of it, and you could skim it off. Water is nature's hydrator, but then oil causes things to stick. So that's why you have to be mindful of the types of oils that you use. So hydration is much better for the hair, and then it doesn't cause all these other issues that happens when you use oil. Okay, going back also, let's say you have 2 children, 2 kids. Come up here. Come on. Yeah, 2. I want 2 people. This the mama right here, because a lot of mamas have children. Come up here, all right? This is how important for mama and children. Come up here. All right, we're going to use this analogy. This is mama. Mama's supposed to be teaching the children, right? Okay. So she has 2 children. One she's feeding the vegetables and fruits and all the nourishing foods that they need, and the nuts and berries. This one is eating fast food that's been fried. Okay? All right? Okay, that's fine. Okay, but this is all that this one is eating. And this one is eating fruits and vegetables and nutrients for 2 weeks. Now, mama's going to ask them to go and run down the street and come back. Which one is going to perform the best? Which one is going to perform the best? He almost failed.
The one that's eating fast food, she beat them.
But we're going to see which one going to be out of breath when she get here. She already huffing.
That fast food.
Yeah, yeah. This one right here, she's standing strong. This one, she didn't do too well, although she ran. Same thing happens with your hair. If you don't want to put oil in your foods and fried foods and expect your body to perform, why would you expect your hair to perform well? Okay? So if it's not healthy to put inside, it's not healthy to put on the outside. Just using that as an analogy. Okay? All right, there we go. There's that. Mr. Tony got a treat for y'all later. All right, so what is the next thing I want to ask you? Okay, shampoos and conditioners. We talked about water temperature. We talked about the tools for you. You wear your hair natural, so this is what you're going to do. Another thing, too, how often do you change this thing that's around here? Or how often do you clean it? She's wearing it because you need a haircut, but are you going to take this and clean it after you wear it today?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it in. Yep, I had wore some other ones and I
Throw them in the laundry. And it's going to be, detergent is going to get lodged in it. Don't do that. She was getting ready to lie. Or take it and put it in a drawer and put it back on because it's contaminated, right? All right, now shampoos and conditioners. What type of shampoos and conditioners are you using? What do they say on the bottles? Do they say moisturizing shampoo, cleansing?
I think I have moisturizing and cleansing. They're Taraji P. Henson line.
We're not going to give any names of
no
companies.
names.
We're not giving names of companies, but use moisturizing and cleansing.
Moisturizing, one says cleansing.
One says cleansing. Which one do you do first?
Well, I go between cleansing and then the co-wash whenever I do wash my hair every 2 weeks.
Okay, so your shampoo says moisturizing, cleansing shampoo. Is that what you're saying? Or you don't use shampoo, you do a co-wash?
The shampoo says cleansing.
Cleansing?
Co-wash says moisturizing.
Okay, you're gonna cleanse. Now, what happens is when we use a lot of shampoos that says cleansing shampoos, you have to be mindful of what's happening. They really, really clean. Oh, my hair and my scalp is really, really clean, but is it balanced? Because remember, most products don't have a memory to know what natural oils to leave in and what artificial oils to remove. So it's gonna remove everything. This is the reason why people use moisturizing conditioners now, because you strip that hair. And now what they're doing is they're giving you products that put all of this wax and petroleum on it, but they never gave you the nutrients that you need. And then you end up in this catch-22. Now, The sad part is never have women been more concerned about their hair and scalp than they are right now, but never have they had more issues. Back in the 80s and the 90s, women didn't have the issues that they have now. And they didn't do the hair as much, and they didn't use as many products. Now they're doing the hair all the time. And what's happening when it comes to professionals, unfortunately, professionals are still into the art, but not concerned about the science of the product. So I'm not saying they are not at fault, but what's happening is they're just taking what's been given to them as well and using it and hoping something turns out right. And it's sad when you purchase products and you don't even expect it to do well. You just hope it does something for you. And that's what happens to a lot of women. Now they're just like, well, hopefully it'll do something for me. You don't have any high expectations now. When you go to hairstylists or when you use products, that's a problem. And a lot of that is that understanding. So no longer will you purchase any products. Hopefully you'll purchase our products because I did all the hard work for you. You have a little bit more understanding of what you're using and those key words and what they mean. 3 main things that the hair needs. Do you remember what they are? It's the cleansing and that balancing and hydration. Oil is something you need very little of, and everybody doesn't need that. While moisturizers, you don't need but a little bit. So if you purchase a product that says moisturizing, that's too much. And it's going to give you an illusion. Okay, if I'm using a product that says moisturizing products, I would assume that my hair is going to stay moist the entire time. But women are coming with the opposite now. It's like I got to keep putting it on. It's like crack. You know, it's not actually giving you any benefits. Anytime you use a product, there should be benefits. Not I have to keep using it, and if I don't have it, then something is wrong. All right? Let's do something here. I want you to hold this here. Okay? We have our Lock Hydration Mist for people that have chemical-free hair, or for people who wear, most women now, I say 80% of the women now wear their hair in protective styles or they're chemical-free. And this is another thing that's happening in the hair care industry to help you understand. I was talking to another hairstylist and I was like, what is happening to our hair care products? There was a time hair care products worked. Why are they not working now? The fabric of hair has changed. In the past 15 years, women have gone from relaxed hair to chemical-free hair. So the needs of the hair has changed, but guess what? The manufacturers are still producing the same products based on the needs of relaxed hair, or the old way of doing hair. So what you're getting is outdated, no different than if you get iPhone 4, it's not gonna function because it's outdated. It's still a phone, but it's outdated, so it's not gonna give you all the benefits that you're gonna need. That's what's happening in the hair care industry. Manufacturers are still using the same outdated system and handing it to you, and your hair has different needs. And because I've studied products and understood products and their needs, and I've applied this, because you have to think about this, you have scientists that have not touched hair. They have not done hair, so they don't know what your needs are. All they know is what the textbook says. But how many of you know, even with your jobs, if you're qualified for a job, you still have to be what? Trained to use the system. You could know the system, but you have to learn how to manipulate the system, because the system works differently for different purposes, for different instances. And what I've done is I found out that those are the 3 things that a woman needs. Now, when it comes to the balancing, it doesn't matter if you have a dry scalp or oily scalp or hormonal imbalance, dandruff, eczema, psoriasis, it does not matter. All of those are pH issues. Our products bring your hair and your scalp back to the proper pH balance. So the mother can use the product if she has dry scalp, and the daughter can use it if she has eczema, and the other daughter can use it if she has oily scalp, because all of those are what? pH issues. So you gotta cleanse first, all right? You gotta cleanse, then we're gonna balance, and then we're going to hydrate that hair. Now, daughter number 2 might not need moisturizer because her hair produces oil. So you don't have to put that finishing product on it, but mother might have to put a little bit more moisturizer on her hair. But guess what? She doesn't need but a little bit. Remember we talked about moisturizers are just like when you make a lemon cake. You don't need but a little bit of lemon extract in that cake, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to spray some of this Lock Hydration Mist on your hair, and we're going to instantly hydrate your hair. And I want you to tell me how that feels to you, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. So we're going to take this off. Okay. So with products, okay, this is the Lock Hydration Mist, and we're instantly adding hydration to her hair. It's going to make the hair fuller and fluffier, and it's actually going to give her hair the ability to receive all the nutrients that she's trying to put on her hair from was the tea tree oil did you say you were putting on it? Right,
Tea tree.
right. Remember, if something is full and hydrated, that means it's juicy, so it can receive. But if it's dry, it's going to sit on top of it and slide off, right? So what we've done now is we hydrated her hair so it can receive those vitamins and those nutrients. And we also sprayed it on her scalp because the hair is an extension of the scalp. Now I want you to actually feel this and tell me, do you feel a difference?
Yeah, it feels softer.
So what now?
It feels softer.
It feels softer? And actually, I can see, if anybody else can see this, or you can't see it from distance, now we see a curl pattern here in our hair because it's hydrated as opposed to being dry and crunchy. So what you need is, okay, when you go to bed at night, this is what happens when you go to bed at night to help ladies also. When you go to bed at night, your body is repairing itself, it's healing itself. That's the purpose of rest. But what is also happening is the scalp is feeding. So that's why in the middle of the night, you might end up with an itchy scalp because your scalp is trying to feed. It has nothing to feed on. Or when you wake up in the morning, your hair is drier and your scalp is drier in the morning when you wake up than when you went to bed because you did not feed it properly. You gave it grease and oil like fast food, but you didn't give it the vitamins and the nutrients that it needed. All right? So what you do is you feed your hair at night while your body's repairing itself, and in the morning you give it something to drink. That's the hydration. Okay? All right? There we go. Now we're going to talk about vitamin intake. How many people take vitamins? How many people take vitamins? All right. Anybody over 30 should be taking vitamins. And the reason why is because after 30, your body's not going to produce the vitamins and nutrients that it used to, especially if you've had children. One thing that they don't tell you, if you had children, if you're taking the prenatal vitamins, you can't stop taking them. If anybody is taking prenatals and they stop taking them, you probably still feel about as bad as you did before. They don't tell you that. You have to continue to take them, even if you did not have any children. Now, with vitamins, I'm going to give you a tip. You do not have to take, you don't have to take designer vitamins. What happens with designer vitamins? I don't give names. You have prenatals, and then you have a designer vitamin. What they did is they took prenatal vitamins and they added some exotic ingredients, and now you're paying 10 times more for that item. You don't have to do that because the foundation is prenatals. All of my clients take prenatal vitamins, but when they take them in the gel form. The reason why we take them in the gel form is because the body will absorb a liquid faster than it would a solid pill. So if you take a solid pill, your body's not going to absorb it as quickly as it would a gel pill. Now we're going to move to when you should take it and when you should not take it. Most people take their vitamins in the daytime, right? They tell you take your vitamins after you finish eating in the daytime. Well, I don't suggest you do that because what happens in the daytime, your body is going 1,000 miles per minute. So your body is not going to absorb all those nutrients that it needs. You want to take that gel form prenatal vitamin at night while the body is repairing itself and while it's healing, so now it can take those nutrients with it. All right? You can get them from Walmart, places like that. You can get 200 for less than $25. It's gone up. It used to be like $12, $15. And take it one time a day. Within 7 days, you're going to notice a huge difference in the way you feel, and within 3 weeks, you're going to notice a difference even in your hair growth and your scalp. Because what you want to do is you want to tend to the inside of the body and the outside of the body. Okay? Now, I want you to feel that piece of hair that we put that hydration mist on. You feel the difference? Yeah, you can feel the curl pattern there. And you're still crunchy on the sides, but we're gonna fix that today, all right? So that is for our natural hair. Just remember to use cool water so we can keep all those vitamins and all those nutrients attached. Then we want to actually hydrate the hair. You don't want to, if you use oil, you use very little oil, but you need the hair hydrated first. Whenever you put your bonnet or your scarf on, you want to make sure you use a new one every night because the one you used the previous night is contaminated. All right. Not only that, you don't want to take your bonnet and you don't want to shampoo it, or I'm sorry, you don't want to wash it with detergents or with your clothing because it gets lodged in the fiber and all those dyes. You want to wash it in your sink, and you don't have to do, but just really just rinse it out and let it dry. Okay, we're going to do one more demonstration. Is that okay with you? You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so we're going to have, free to go, we're going to have someone with braided hair. Come on, Tiana. You stay there. Okay, now we're going to talk about what happens when your hair is, most women wear protective styles, which is great, but the issue is, how is it being fed? A lot of times what people don't understand with hair, it doesn't matter what grade or what quality it is pulling the vitamins and nutrients away from your hair because it's wrapped around it. It doesn't have a life source. So it's going to pull from your life source. So you have to make sure that you feed the hair and the scalp properly. So if she has longer hair, so her hair is about right here? Okay, her hair is about right here. So that means this is wrapped around her hair and it's drying her hair out. But what a lot of people do is they put oils on it. And if your hair is already dry and this is drying it out, it's going to be drier. And then you're going to end up getting a lot of shedding. Because I was told that when you take your hair out of braids, you're going to get a lot of shedding. I found out that's not so. If you are feeding this hair and the scalp properly, the nutrients that it needs, you're going to get minimum shedding. The whole purpose of protective styles is to protect it from the environment, but you want to make sure that it is fed so you can get some results. Most women, when they wear protective styles for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, by the time you end up treating it, trimming the dead ends, you're almost back to where you started before. That's not everyone, but that's most people. So you want to make sure that you treat that hair and that scalp, especially with this hair wrapped around it, so again, it can be fed properly. I use this analogy. If you have a plant or you have a flower that is really, when it comes to the sun, it's delicate to the sun, so you want to protect it. Right? I'm gonna protect the flower, I'm gonna put it in the shade. Okay? I'm gonna put this flower in the shade, but what happens if there's a tree above that flower? I protected it from the shade, from the sun, from heat damage. I protected it from the elements, but now when the rain falls, all the rain goes into the leaves, and then the flower doesn't get any of the nutrients from, and then it dries out. Not because of the sun, but because it didn't get the vitamins and the nutrients it needed from the rainfall. Same thing happens with a woman's hair when she's wearing protective styles. I protected it from heat, I protected it from overstyling, from tension, but I did not give it the nutrients that it needed to survive. So now, when I take it loose, it's dry, it's shedding. I got some growth, but part of that I got to cut off because it was not fed properly. That's where the lock hydration mist comes in. So what we do is first of all, we do our liquid vitamins, which is the Liquid Gold Advanced Treatment. Anybody who uses can testify, this is amazing. These are liquid vitamins for the hair and the scalp. Why did we design this? because the body will absorb a liquid faster than it would a cream, an emollient, or a paste. Those things are going to sit on top of the hair or the scalp. This is a liquid. Look at it this way. When you go to the doctor, if you're in severe pain, what they're going to give you, they give you an IV, because that is actually going to go into your bloodstream faster and relieve you. Or if you're dehydrated, they give you an IV. They're not going to feed you food. It's going to take too long for your body to absorb it. Same thing with these liquid vitamins. We have protein, turmeric, vitamins, nutrients in here. So what we do is, there we go. We're going to take glasses off for a minute. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray these liquid vitamins on her scalp. And it also contains peppermint oil. We're going to spray it on her scalp. So now she's got those liquid vitamins and nutrients to her scalp and across the shaft of where the braids are connecting with her hair, because we got to feed that hair. So when we take these braids out, her hair will have been fed these nutrients, and it will not be dry, it will not be crunchy, it will not tangle, and she will not lose hair. Vitamins and nutrients. All right? Then we're going to take, this is her food. We don't have a daily moisturizer up here. Daily moisturizer. So we're going to feed it the liquid vitamins, which is the liquid gold. Yes, that's it. And then we're going to give her the daily moisturizer. And we're going to put that on her scalp like the old folks say. We're going to graze her scalp with that. And we're going to squeeze this daily moisturizer where it's connected to her hair. That's going to give it the nutrients that it needs overnight. This is the food that it needs. You do this every night. You feed your body every night or every day. You have to feed your hair and your scalp, but you don't want to feed it junk and oil. You want to feed it vitamins and nutrients. That's what's going to absorb. The rest of it is just fatty. It's going to sit on top of the hair. It's going to clog up her braids. It's going to smell. And when you use this liquid gold in the daily moisturizer, you will not end up with any smell. You will not end up with any clumping. You will not end up with any caking of oils from the hair. And it will absorb in between those braids and feed that hair and scalp. So when she takes the braids out, her hair is going to be really, really nice and curly. When she shampoos it, it's not going to tangle up. When she combs it, she's not going to get a head full of hair because we fed it the vitamins and nutrients while it was in the protective styles. That's what we did at night. We fed it at night. But what we want to do in the morning, we want to give it something to drink. We want to hydrate it. That's where the lock hydration mist comes in. This is going to give her the hydration she needs throughout the day. If you work out during the day, what you need some Gatorade, you need some Powerade, you need some water to make it through the day. Same thing with your hair and your scalp. It needs something to help it make it through the day, so you put a little bit on it in the daytime. So when she takes this out in 6 weeks, the hair will be properly hydrated, it will have been fed, it will not be shedding, it will not tangle. The hair that she grew, she'll get to keep. Now, there are 3 things that happens with this system that's very unique. 3 things that happen with this system. The first thing that happens with the system is that it's going to minimize the shedding, anywhere between 60 to 90%. Then it's going to speed up your growth rate by up to 25 to 30%. And then it's going to increase the lifespan of your hair. So you get to keep the hair that you had before. So imagine you stop the shedding, then you're going to increase the growth rate. It's going to grow faster, and then you get to keep the hair that you already have. So it's going to seem like your hair is growing 3 times as fast. The problem with a lot of women, especially women of color, they all say the same thing: my hair doesn't grow, or my hair is slow growing. What this product does is stop. One of the biggest problems with ethnic hair is that it's not that it's not growing. The issue is that it's breaking faster than it is growing. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to stop the breakage. and then we're gonna speed up the growth rate, and then we're gonna increase the lifespan of your hair. That's what the system does. That's the purpose of these 4 key ingredients, and these 4 key ingredients are compatible with each other as well. All right? Good? All right, here we go. Yes. Now, do we have someone with straighter hair? And we're gonna demonstrate. You have a question? Yes.
Pertaining to the locks.
Locks.
You use your shampoo and conditioner to wash your locks, as well as the
Yes.
liquid gold and the moisturizer.
So she was asking me, let's repeat that so we can have it on the mic. You were asking me, do we use,
This is pertaining to the locks.
this is pertaining to locks. Okay.
Using your I lost my train of thought.
The shampoo and
The
conditioner.
shampoo and conditioner.
Yes. Now I'm gonna tell you all this also. It doesn't matter whether you have locks or you blow your hair out, or if you have relaxed hair, if you have color-treated hair, if you have dandruff, you have psoriasis, or you wear hair in protective styles, you're gonna use the same shampoo and conditioner. That's gonna be your foundation, okay? Now, the next thing we'll talk about is your finishing products or your daily products might change, but the shampoo and conditioner is gonna stay the same. So yes, we're using the shampoo and conditioner.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can use the liquid gold and the moisturizer as well.
Yes, on
Along-
locks, yes, you can.
Okay.
But what we added was I found that a lot of women are dehydrated, and that's why we added the lock hydration mist.
yeah.
So this is what they call it a refresher. That's another name they call that, but I like to call it something to drink in the daytime. So with your locks, you use our shampoo, use our conditioner, and the wonderful thing about our shampoo conditioner when it comes to locks is, again, it's pH balance, and it has the tea tree oil and the rosemary oil. So it pulls out a lot of those impurities that get lodged in between those that hair. It does that, and then it's gonna hydrate, but I did understand with locks, you have to be careful about using oils. But with most heads, you only need minimal amount of oil. You need that hydration. So what you do is use that liquid gold on your scalp, the same way with the locks. Then you're gonna squeeze a little bit of daily moisturizer. Same thing you do with your braids or up underneath your crochets or whatever. Because remember, all heads of hair have the same basic needs, whether it's locked, whether it's straight, whether it's kinky, whether it's curly, whether it's color treated. But you do the lock hydration mist as your daily refresher for your scalp and your hair.
Okay. So it's better to do it in the day or at night, or
You feed it at night and you give it something to drink in the day. That's the easiest way to remember it. Use the liquid gold for your scalp and then use that daily moisturizer for your scalp and your hair. That's the food. Then you give it something to drink in the daytime.
okay. Thank you.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Do you have another question? Are we still on live? Thank you all for peeping in. I know you're going to peep in and out, but if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section, and this weekend I will be answering them. Are we still on? Okay, great. Yes.
So I have a question when you have braids or
A question with
twister
braids.
or whatever, a protective style.
Yes.
How often do you recommend washing your hair when you're in a style like this? Like
Okay.
I know the process that you just did with Sister Tion with the daily maintenance.
Right.
But how often should we actually wash it?
Okay. That's a wonderful question. With this product, why do most people, and in the cosmetology field, we don't use the word wash, but we grow there. You say shampoo, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to say shampoo. With this system, first of all, why do most people shampoo their hair as often as they do? Usually it's one or two reasons: because it's dry, itchy, or flaky, or it's oily, or sticky, or gummy. And a lot of that is because of the shampoos and conditioner you use. If you use the proper shampoo and conditioner, it will not dry out. It will not, you will not produce the dandruff and the eczema and the psoriasis, because the product is cleansing, balancing, and hydrating. The reason why you don't have to shampoo it that much when you wear it in your braids or your lock is for the same reason, because Most people put oils on their hair or their scalp when they wear braids, so you have to shampoo it more often. If not, you end up with these cakey spots or buildup in it. With our products, you're not gonna have to worry about that buildup because they're absorbing, so you don't have to shampoo your hair no more than like 5 to 6 weeks when you're in protective styles. Towner will testify to that. And because we have products in it, also ingredients that keeps the odors down, because our products are pH balanced and they have antifungal and antibacterial properties. And that's why you get those smells. With our products, you're not going to get that issue because you don't want to shampoo it in between there, and it's cumbersome to do that. But you can't do that if you're using moisturizing products prior and then you're using moisturizing products to finish it. You're going to end up with that buildup and that cakiness. So 6 weeks, which is basically the longest you should go in between your protective styling. So once you put them in, you use our products. You use our Liquid Gold Daily Moisturizer as food. And in the daytime, use that Lock Hydration Mist as this hydration, something to drink, every 6 weeks. And when you take that hair loose, you're not going to lose any hair. You would have gained some hair, and you will not have to end up with all the tangling that you end up facing. I'm pretty sure you end up with a lot of tangles when you come out of your protective styles. Most people do. And a lot of that has to do with using that hot water as well. I'll give you another tip that if you have protective styles, before you shampoo it, you need to get, you need to get a wig brush or a paddle brush. Full-time magic corner here. When you take your braids loose or crochets, you don't want to take them loose and start at the shampoo bowl and start shampooing the hair. The hair is going to mat up. You want to take a wig brush or a paddle brush, take those braids and start brushing through that hair really, really good, and then shampoo the hair. But don't use that hot water. It'll cause that hair to mat up on you. Okay? Yes. You didn't have.
Using that stuff, it didn't smell, and it was easy.
Yeah, we have a testimony here, okay? And you were telling us what now?
That I did try to do a protective style, and I didn't do the brushing, and it was a catastrophe because it just matted up. So when I use the system daily with the Liquid Gold and then the cream, when I took the braids out, I didn't have any kind of real thick buildup. It was so easy to separate it. And even when you're brushing it was just like your hair was just really supposed to be. It was protected and it was wavy. It was silky, it didn't have a smell to it, and I didn't have any breakage. So I've seen it work for myself, and I mean, you don't have to really wash it because that oil is almost like it's oiling, it's like cleansing your scalp on a daily basis. It's really good.
So that is a testimony about using that Liquid Gold Daily Moisturizer on your scalp. When you're in a protective style, you will not have that issue, and you won't have that buildup. And brush it before you go to that shampoo bowl, but make sure that you do not use that warm water because it's going to cause it to tangle and you're going to end up with a mess. Because again, a lot of women, their biggest issue is they grow, even if they're growing their hair, by the time they finish with the tangles and ripping through their hair, that they're back where they started from before. Okay? All right?
Mine is color treated, so I found that when I get it shampooed, it's more tangly, even when she uses the products. And I'm just wondering if maybe when she washes it, it's not cold enough water.
The water's not cool enough. And there's another thing that you can do, color treated hair.
Yes.
We have to understand what has actually happened to the hair. What I like to do for color treated hair is I like to condition it before I shampoo it. So what you can do, let's say if your hair is color treated and it tangles up or it mats up. Some people's hair tangles up and then you end up ripping it or you end up with a sore head. I recommend you take a spray bottle and put distilled water in it. mist the hair. It doesn't have to be drenched wet, but mist the hair with the distilled water, and then rub conditioner through the shaft of the hair and let it sit for a couple of minutes. And what you're going to do is you're going to lubricate that hair before you shampoo it. Because what's happening is with color-treated hair, what you've done is color goes in and it strips the hair of its natural pigment, but it takes all of the oils, all the nutrients. It basically reconfigures the way that hair is, and it takes away, again, something that's darker, like darker complexion, shines more than lighter complexion. Same thing with the hair. If your hair is lighter, it's not shining as much, but guess what? It really is shining. It's just not reflecting light. Okay? But what happens is when you color hair, it's raising that cuticle up because it's got to raise the cuticle to get to the hair. Because hair is 3 parts. You got the cuticle, which is the outside layer of the hair. That's what protects it. Then you have the cortex. That's the hair itself. It's another lesson. And you have another part they call the medulla. That's the elastic band on the innermost part of the hair. That's why some people can curl their hair. Hopefully this will help people also. This is why some people can curl their hair and it stays really curled tight. It's because they have that elastic band on the inside of the hair, that medulla, that keeps the hair lock in place. There are some people who have a weak medulla. So if you curl the hair, it'll just fall. And some people can curl it and it won't curl at all because they don't have that elastic band. All right, so what happens when you color treat the hair and you relax hair, you're taking that cuticle and you're exploding it wide open and you go into the hair itself and you are changing its pigment. But what also happens is the cuticle has been disturbed. So when you're shampooing and conditioner, it's no longer smooth because it's almost like that, it's like a doorway. Door's been open and closed, open and closed, open and closed, and it makes it really kind of weak. So the best thing to do for hair that tangles really easy, take your distilled water, spray that hair, and rub that conditioner on that shaft to lubricate that shaft, then shampoo it. Let's say you're going to shampoo it tomorrow morning, do it at night. Just take your distilled water on the shaft, it doesn't have to be drenched wet, and take your conditioner and go through the shaft of that hair and just let it sit. Then when you shampoo it, it will have that filler there. Because if your hair is naturally dry and then you shampoo it and you remove the oils that are protecting it, it's going to be rougher. Okay? So hopefully that helped you with that. Yeah, try that. That's definitely going to help. Again, saturate the hair, put that conditioner on, let it sit on at least 15 minutes. You're pre-treating that hair or do it the night before. Okay? Yes.
Would it be best to use semi or permanent dye? Which would be better if you wanted to dye your hair or whatever?
If you want to dye your hair, which would be better, using
The semi or the permanent? Which
the
one?
permanent.
I mean, or does both work pretty much the same?
No, they don't work the same. Now, you have 4 types of coloring. You have a rinse, which sits just on top of the hair, and when you shampoo, it just rinses off. Then you have semi-permanent, which stains the cuticle, so it stays on a little bit longer. And then you have demi, which goes a little bit deeper, and then you have permanent, which goes permanently into that hair. A lot of it has to do with the hair's integrity, which one you use and the purpose of it. So let's talk about the purpose in which you want to use it. And that's another issue that's gone? Okay. All right. That is another issue when it comes to hair, is that stylists are not using the proper products to give people what they need based on their hair's integrity level. Now, tell me what your issue is with your hair and the purpose of you wanting to color it or dye it, and then that will give us a better idea of which type of coloring will be the best for you.
Okay. I will say for locks.
For locks.
Say, for instance, if I wanted to color my locks, which would be the best one for me
Now,
to use?
Are you coloring it darker, or you want to lift it higher, or you want to cover gray? What is your purpose?
No, just to add some color.
To
Like-
add some color. More than likely, what you're going to do is you're going to have to go the permanent route. All right. You're going to have to, if you want to add color, if that hair is dark and you want to go lighter, you're going to have to lift that hair, so you're going to have to use permanent. Okay? If your hair is dark and you want to make it darker, all you need to do is just stain it. Okay? All of them can be relatively safe based on who does it. And then not only that, the water temperature, the products that they use, the maintenance, because it's no different than if you go to the doctor, if you get surgery, if you don't tend to your wound properly for it to heal properly, then you're not going to heal properly. Same thing. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay?
Two questions.
2 questions.
All right. First one is, how do you maintain a young boy's hair where some of it's straight, but some is curly, but it stays dry all the time? You just don't know what to do.
It doesn't know what to do. Okay, what do we do about, come here, young man. Come on, Mr. Tony. We have a young man, she has a question. So we're not on live anymore? Okay, we got 15 more minutes. Come on up here, you gonna jump up here? Okay, now, one thing we have to understand is most people have at least 3 textures in their hair anyway. You ever think about it? You have a mother and your father, and you have 2 sets of grandparents. So you're gonna get all those different textures. The wonderful thing about the system is that it balances the porosity level of the hair. If you're using products like, oh wow, he's got like some straight hair, he's got some wavy hair, he's got some kinky hair. Okay. So there's no real uniformity in this texture. So what we can do with this product, and we can at least balance out that look. If you're using combination products, you're gonna have a combination look. With his hair, the only thing that we can do is to make it look more balanced, because he's got like 5 different textures in his hair. Tell me, what is it you want it to do that it is not doing?
I want it to stay curled and soft, because when he was younger, it was curly. But now when it grows, now that he's older, it's not staying curly. But if it does go curly, it gets dry very quick.
It gets dry very quick. Okay. That's why our products is really, really great, because it's going to cleanse and it's going to balance out that hair. So it's going to make all of those strands receive product well, and then we're going to hydrate it. And like I said, he's got different textures going. This is unique, because I haven't really seen hair like this in a long time. So his hair, first of all, he's a baby, so his hair is changing. So that's going to happen up till he turns about 13. Okay, so I can see right now on the ends it's completely straight, but down in his roots, it's coily, and then in the midstream it's wavy. So as his hair gets longer, the texture of it actually changes. So if you use our system, it's going to give you a little bit more balance. But it's no different than if you have a person that has straight hair and you have a person that has wavy hair, you have a person that has curly hair. It's going to respond differently, but at least it will have some consistency if you use our products on it. It has the cleansing, the balancing, and the hydration. If you put oil on his hair, the different textures are going to respond differently. And I think that's what's going on because of the compound. But if you use our system, you're going to get more consistency out of it. So I definitely, with combination hair, you don't want to put oils on combination hair, because each texture is going to respond differently, because the molecule base on oils sits in that each type of texture is going to respond differently to oils. But all heads of hair are going to respond basically the same with cleansing, balancing, and hydration. So you're going to get more consistency out of that. So I recommend that you definitely use when you use the oils, use the lock hydration mist on his hair. And don't put oils on it.
Just that.
Just this. Yes. So for his hair, you don't really need the liquid gold or daily moisturizer. you want to give him that hydration that he needs because it doesn't seem like he has any scalp issues.
Right.
Right. The lock hydration mist is what he's going to need.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So the other one has scalp issues.
The other one has scalp issues. That is the purpose of the liquid gold. The liquid gold gives you the vitamins and the nutrients you need. If you don't have a scalp issue, you don't need the liquid gold. Or if you don't have scalp issues and you want your hair to grow super fast, you use the liquid gold. But that is not his issue. His issue is a texture, so just use the hydration.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Another one. Can you address? I know a lot of people's using castor oil.
castor oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you address that and if it's a good benefit or if it's not good to use?
Castor oil, it does have benefits, but again, you have to consider the other products that you're using along with it. Castor oil is not as great of a universal product when it comes to different textures of hair. It's almost like what I call like a one-trick pony. So it tends to a very small group or a very small group of issues versus the tea tree oil, the rosemary oil, the peppermint oil, and aloe vera as a combination product. Because you can take that castor oil and if you combine it with something else, you end up with clumping because it's a very dense product. So you got to really be careful with that. So I'm not saying it's bad, but if you're going to take it and you're going to combine it with other products, it becomes very tricky to use. Some people using it get great results, but then for the majority, it's not as great of a product to use because remember, just one ingredient combining with 15 other ones. You're following me? Again, it goes back to that science of hair, skin, and nails. You know, you got two great products, but they don't work well together. Castor oil does not work well it doesn't play well with everybody else.
So if you use it, it's best to use it by itself.
But then you can't use it by itself because you got other shampoos and other conditioners and other products that you're using. So some people, and I want to tell people, some people can come up with their own formula and it works great for them. How many people have had a friend say, look, I use 1, 2, 3, 4, it works excellent for my hair. You do the same thing and it does absolutely nothing for you. All right. Castor oil is like that. It could work for this group, but for somebody else, it may not. I do know that these combination of products and ingredients work excellently together. Again, I could tell you, yes, castor oil is perfect, but then I don't know if you mix it with another shampoo, another conditioner, or another oil, it could turn out to be something else once you do that. Yeah. But if it's working, then keep working with it. Okay? All right? You want to feel something on your hair? Okay. Hold this for Mr. Tony. So we're going to use the lock hydration mist on his hair. There you go. It's going to feel good. And we're just going to use it on his front area. So we just used the lock hydration mist to give, all his hair has to be hydrated. And in a couple of minutes, you're gonna see how each part of his hair is going to receive the product based on its absorption. Most products like castor oil doesn't absorb, it sits on top. So all of the hair is gonna respond differently. It's like this has too much weight, this has not enough weight, and then you end up with hairs like this. But if it's an absorbing product, every strain is gonna absorb it based on its need. It's not gonna sit on top of it. I want you to come up here and see this because you should already see after we put the lock hydration mist. Do you see a difference?
Yep.
What are you seeing?
It's actually softer, separating better, and it's curling up better. Love it.
It's automatically uniforming his hair because it needed hydration. Oil is just gonna sit on top of it.
So you performed a trick on the spot.
Yeah. So I wish you all could see this, but that's all he needed was hydration. Okay? You can see it from there?
And it's softer and it's not hard. Like
Right.
when we
Because
do
it,
with this part.
because like castor oil and those other oils, they sit on top. And then if you have some hair that's weaker than others, some wavy, some curly, some straight, all of it is not going to receive the product and it's not going to respond evenly. But because we hydrated the hair, it is only going to absorb what it needs, then the hair is going to respond evenly.
It's actually
And we just sprayed it right now. Easier to curl.
yeah.
And that's it.
And don't even,
Lock hydration mist.
and they keep saying, "Ooh, you're starting to dry."
That's it. All right, we got, that's good. We're going to answer one more question before we sign off. Yes, ma'am.
This is going back to color.
Color.
If you color your hair,
Yes.
very highlighted,
Yes.
and then you want to bring the color down and it doesn't happen. So what is going on with the hair?
You have the hair higher color and you want to bring it down, meaning what? Tell me.
Darker color,
A darker color, and it did not happen, is that what you're saying?
yeah.
So more than likely you use like a bleach, like a permanent color to lift up that hair. And then you probably did you use a semi-permanent or you use a rinse to darken it?
I didn't do it, my daughter did it.
She did it? More than likely
Then
she
when
didn't.
she went to go to bring the color down, it wouldn't come down.
It wouldn't come down?
Yeah, now she said, well, you know, we need to get a professional.
You need a professional. That's a story most people. What happens is like we try to diagnose. I know I'll do this, but then when something happens, you don't know how to bring yourself back. That's when you need a professional. She wants to know if she lifted her hair and she didn't want to bring it down. It didn't happen at all. So now she needs a professional. When you should have went to a professional from the beginning. Yeah, because a woman's prerogative is to change her mind, because a lot of times women change their mind about their hair, what color they want to be, what type of style they want to be, what look they want it to look. So you need to make sure everything that you do, you will have that option for flexibility, because there are some things you can do that can be irreversible. So just consult with me and then we'll find out what happened, okay? But there are definitely 3 things that you're always going to need. Any head of hair, any instance, any circumstance: cleansing, balancing, and hydration. So thank you for staying with us on Facebook Live for the Consumer Classroom, and we will see you soon. All right, bye.